to the Point of Impact podcast with Rick McDaniel. Thanks for joining us today. Get ready to be inspired and motivated to live a high-impact life. Now, here's Rick.
Welcome to the Point of Impact podcast. I'm Rick McDaniel. Happy New Year. Really excited about this new year. Hope you are too. I've got lots of resources for you to help you to make it your best year ever. So here goes real quick. First of all, I have something on the Bible app, the YouVersion Bible app, the largest Bible app in the world with over 500 million downloads. And it's called Your Breakthrough Year. Your Breakthrough Year. So you can go and get that and have this great 5-day reading plan to get motivated to make 2023 your breakthrough year. Then on foxnews.com, I have an article on making 2023 your dream year. That 2023 can be your dream year and best year you've ever had. Dream big and see your dreams come true. So again, you can go to foxnews.com and type in my name and dream year, and you can find that piece as well. You can also sign up for my weekly devotion that comes out. You go to rickmcdaniel.com and sign up for that. And I've got a great new devotion called Greater, like you can have a greater year of impact, a greater year of blessings, a greater year of opportunities. It can be a greater year for you. That's available on rickmcdaniel.com. Just go to rickmcdaniel.com/devotions, and you can read that, and then you can sign up to receive the devotion every single Tuesday morning. It'll be delivered to your inbox every week for the entire year, 52 weeks. Every Tuesday morning you can grab that as well. And then finally, if you're looking for something as you start the new year, daily, something to give you that daily boost of inspiration and motivation, my book, This Is Living, Daily Inspiration, you can get it. You can get it on Amazon. You can order it at rickmcdaniel.com. If you'd like, you can order the book there. Either way, you can get the book, pretty similar price point, although I could sign the book for you if you want, if you get it through rickmcdaniel.com. So that's available to you as well. So all of these marvelous resources are out there to make sure that this is your best year, that you start the year off strong. Let me just also say, follow me on Rick McDaniel, at Rick McDaniel on Twitter. You can follow me, Rick McDaniel HIL, which is the group organization I run, High Impact Living. Rick McDaniel HIL on Facebook. Rick McDaniel _official on Instagram. Rick McDaniel _official on Instagram. So those are some of the social media platforms that you can follow. You can follow me on LinkedIn as well. So lots of ways to get content. By the way, I post almost every single day. So if you follow on social media, especially Twitter and Facebook, you'll get almost every day. Instagram, picture based. So maybe not quite as much, but videos I put on there. Got a great video that I filmed on top of a 10,000 foot mountain that you could watch, as well as one from the beach in California. So some pretty cool videos which I think have some great messages, by the way, as well. So I just got done having quite a travel journey, 2 missed flights, 1 missed connection, a rental car place that closed early and had to stay overnight. That was quite an experience. But in the midst of all that experience, I had some great experiences, and some of those are in videos and stuff that you'll be reading about if you get the devotion. The next one should be about that, actually. So sign up for that, and you can, or just go to Rick McDaniel /devotions, and you can read about it. You can also go on the Pray app, largest Pray app in the world, and look for my leader profile, Rick McDaniel, and you can find daily devotions with Rick McDaniel, over 200 or close to 200 that you could listen to. Start your day listening, or listen whenever is convenient for you. So lots and lots and lots of stuff. And to add to all of that, I've got this for you today: 15 daily habits for a successful year. 15 daily habits for a successful year. So let's just jump in right away. Habit number 1, wake up early. Yeah, it's hard to get out of a cozy bed, especially in the wintertime when it's nice and warm, but no pain, no gain, as they say. And Christopher Randler reported in Harvard Business Review that people whose peak performance peaks in the morning are better positioned for career success because they're more proactive than people who are at their best in the evening. So get up early and get going early. And you say, I'm a night person. I've talked to so many people through the years, and I say, yeah, but you just got to shift your mentality and start thinking about getting up earlier. Now, again, if you're a night person, earlier for you might not be as early as, say, I get up somewhere between 4:30 and 5 every morning. It's amazing what you can get done in the quiet hours of early morning when it's still dark out and no one's up and making noise. And I just could not recommend it highly enough. In the Bible, the psalmist David said, early in the morning I rise to meet you, and I'll talk more about that routine in a moment. But this idea, I just get up and I just start my day and just get a jump start on the day. It's really so much better if you can go to bed early and get up early, then go to bed late, and get up late. So get up earlier. Second habit, plan ahead. If you have trouble sorting through your everyday tasks, be proactive. Write down your plans for the day, your to-do list the night before. And then you don't have that hustle in the morning. Or you can get up early, and first thing you do when your mind is clear is make that to-do list of the things that you need to get done. So many people, just forget things, and then things don't get done, and things get forgotten, and then problems are created because you didn't do that thing that you were supposed to do. And the planning ahead is what just makes it. I've got so many pads of paper. In fact, every time I go on one of these trips and in the hotels, I just grab a pad, like here's my to-do pad, and just use them. Gone through tons of them through the years. But if you make up a to-do list, just have a pad of paper near you, and you can just write down the things that you need to get accomplished. I mean, I'm looking at one of mine right now. Even as I'm recording this podcast at my desk, there's a list, and I've got another list on the counter in my kitchen. Stuff that will just allow you to make sure that the stuff gets done that needs to get done because you're planning ahead. And this, I wish I had time today. I got to get through this 15 minutes, but if I was just going to give you a quick one, the amount of money I saved on this trip over the holidays because I planned ahead. I bought my tickets early. I booked my rooms early. It's just a massive difference than if you wait. And waiting, you could do it a month early and think I've planned ahead, and you'll get hit like no other during the holidays. I did it like 3 months ahead. So planning ahead has so many benefits in just so many ways. All right, let's just stay in this morning and let's just talk about third habit is have a morning routine. What's your morning routine? So I'm going to just walk you through my morning routine. So the first thing I do before my feet ever hit the floor is I spend my time in prayer with God. That's how I start every single day, because there's nothing more important than you can do than connecting with God and unburdening yourself of all the things that are on your heart and mind, asking for God's help, asking for God to help those that you love and care about, whatever they might be going through. It's also a marvelous time to just be quiet and get ready for this. God will talk to you. He won't say, Rick, this is God. But what will happen is ideas will just start popping in your head. I have gotten the most fantastic $1 million, type of ideas, creative thoughts that have come to me in that morning quiet time of prayer that is just worth it. Now, you hear a lot about things like mindfulness and meditation, and these are, of course, you might say more secular practices. I'm speaking from a more spiritual standpoint, and I'm saying, man, you unburden yourself, you talk to God, you tell him what you need, you tell him about your problems, your challenges, you talk to him about the people that you love and care about, and then you just, wait on his communication to you. Reading the Bible that's of course the way God can directly communicate. Words can just jump off the page to you. And again, a devotional is these things that I write that you then I'll have a book full of, and that I have a show on daily devotions on Pray. This is and the reading plans on YouVersion. You have these. So you read this devotion, and so in my case, you get a great story, you get a scripture verse, and you get some application. It takes you like 3 minutes. And you're on your way toward starting your day in the best possible way. So before you ever kind of get out of bed and meet the challenges of the day, you've really connected with God. You have a good spiritual start to your day, and you enter your day with peace and many times with some positive, creative thoughts for your future. Okay, next habit, work out in the morning. It's an ideal time to work out before you've worked all day and you're tired. You set up that exercise routine, and I've been working out pretty much my entire life. I was an athlete when I was younger, and then I just continued to do it. And I'm kind of a living example, of if you stay with it, how you can retain muscle mass and size and strength, how you can have a more youthful appearance, have a greater degree of energy. All of those things are things that I experience, and I attribute them to these workouts. At least 3 times a week, 3 to 5 times a week, depending on what your schedule will allow you to do. I used to do more workouts. I don't do quite as many as I used to do, but still do enough to make sure that it's going to be a positive day and a positive week for me in terms of my health and my energy, my strength. And I can't encourage enough. I'll just quickly say that though cardio is important and is a part of my workouts, all the research points that as you get older, you've got to either incorporate or continue strength training. I always lifted, so it was nothing really new for me, but I'm just amazed at how everyone is saying you need to lift. You have to have resistance, and that can come in bands and different things that people do. I'm a bit old school. I'm still throwing up the weights, but I've adjusted from total free weights to machines that you put weights on, so you can kind of limit the risk of injury. But you can keep doing it. I'm telling you, I can still throw up the weight with the youngsters in the gym. So get in those workouts. And then next habit, have a healthy breakfast. Breakfast of a king, right? Lunch of a prince and dinner of a pauper. It's old. That's an old one, but I tell you what, it's a truism. I'm always amazed at people that do this intermittent fasting. My wife and I discussed this because she's a proponent, and all these people tell her, but I'm completely 100% against this idea that intermittent fasting means skipping breakfast. That's absurd. If you want to do intermittent fasting, and I do it, here's how you do it. Skip dinner. That's the one to skip, not breakfast, dinner. Dinner is the biggest meal. Dinner is the closest when you go to sleep, when your metabolism shuts down. Dinner is what can affect your sleep and your digestion and all kinds of things. None of those things apply to breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It kickstarts your metabolism. It balances your blood sugar levels. Studies have shown that people who skip breakfast tend to have a higher body mass index, BMI. Yeah. So you think, I'm going to skip. No, it doesn't work. Skip dinner. That's the one to skip. And then you watch the pounds fall off, and then you watch the energy. I wake up starving in the morning. Yeah, good. That's the meal. Make breakfast your priority. Don't miss breakfast. All right, those are my morning habits to start the day. Now let's just go into some more habits. Let's talk about just setting some goals each day. You've got your to-do list of things you've got to do, but identify at least 3 priority goals, especially first thing in the morning. Maybe some of the other things that you have to get done can wait till the afternoon. They're more clerical in nature, what do you want to call them, administrative, whatever. But what are those important things that you need to get done? Identify those priority goals and say, these are 3 things that really need to happen, and devote that morning, fresh, energetic time on those goals. And what happens then is you come to the end of the day and you just, you feel good about what you've accomplished and what you've been able to achieve because you knocked out those goals and you got those goals taken care of in the morning. And then from there, you're good to go. So work on at least 3 priority goals and knock those out in the morning as quick as you can. And then you can work on the rest of your to-do list. All right, here's another. When I say manage your schedule, the daily goals are good, okay? Sticking with them's the challenge. So here's my famous phrase. In fact, somebody just quoted it back to me that I hadn't seen in a long time. And they probably first heard it from me like 15 years ago. So here it is. Schedule your priorities. Don't prioritize your schedule. That will change your life. So many people look at their schedule and say, okay, how can I prioritize this? No, that's wrong. Schedule your priorities. In other words, you make your schedule based on your priorities, and then everything else goes around that. It's a massive paradigm shift when you start scheduling your priorities instead of looking at your schedule and trying to prioritize it as if your schedule is somehow given to you by some outside force and you're made to do it. You're not made to do it. You've got to control your life, and you control your schedule, and you schedule in your priorities. And then guess what happens? The stuff gets done. The priorities get accomplished. The goals get accomplished. That's how it works. And it works so very, very, very well. So make sure you are scheduling your priorities. All right, here's another daily habit. Read about your field. Always be a student. Be a lifelong learner. And especially as it relates to your professional life in terms of your success. Now, reading is great in all kinds of ways, like the devotional in the morning, and other kinds of reading could be fiction reading, but particularly, you need to just stay up in your field, in your career, in your industry, whatever you want to call it. You'll gain knowledge, and it'll give you ideas about how you can be more successful. So, make sure you are reading books in your field. Make sure you are reading like within your LinkedIn, the news feed there. People are posting things. I've gotten so many great ideas from it. Just different things people post, articles. People like me, right? And so if you do that, you'll find it will benefit you in such a marvelous, marvelous, marvelous way. All right, here's another, play to your strengths. This is the classic kind of thing, what do you do with your strengths and weaknesses? And so this is my belief that you should play to your strengths and really not work so much on trying to improve your weaknesses. We all have strengths and weaknesses. That makes us human. No one's perfect, but it's important to realize, this is where I excel, this is where I'm strong, and this is where I'm not so strong. And so, you can work on weaknesses. It's not like you just say I am who I am and that's all that I am, and you have these bad habits. But at the same time, it's so important to build on your strengths, to be confident in what you're good at, and believe that you are bound for greatness because of the strengths that you have. And so while certainly there can be weaknesses that must be addressed, especially if they're holding you back, and it could be, weight, or it could be mental in terms of your thinking. It could be habits, bad habits, alcohol, or whatever it might be, overspending. But in the end, you've got to develop and play to your strengths and what you're best at and what you're good at. And if you do that, you can have an enormous amount of success. So daily, you're looking to work on your strengths. All right, here's another one. I've talked about this before, but again, it's a great habit, and that is practice gratitude. Successful people are happy people. Happy people are successful people. And so you have to come to a place where you say, I'm grateful. If you aren't grateful for what you have, you'll never be satisfied. But if you can see the positive picture and be thankful for the things, I always practice gratitude every single day. Or both. Sometimes I do it in the morning, sometimes at night, and sometimes I do it at night and in the morning, both. Where just reflect on it works well in the morning with prayer, because you can start your prayer by thanking God before you start asking. You can thank. That's why it works well in the morning. But sometimes it's good at the end of a day to just look back and say, wow, if I were to tell you this crazy trip I was on, and you say all these bad things happened, they did, but in the end, though we lost 2 days in the process, we still got to do many of the things that we set out to do and spend time with family, have some great experiences, 10,000 feet up on a mountain, eating a beautiful meal with an incredible view. I mean, wow. It still was able to be done. And maybe some of the money even gets reimbursed for what took place. And, at the end of the day, you can be thankful for all those things. You'll always be able to find reasons to be thankful. Practice gratitude. You will absolutely be glad that you have that as a daily habit. All right, here's a favorite of mine. Make sure you're ingesting motivational content. But you just have to do it. It's crucial. There's so many things in life that are challenging. There's so many tests and battles that you fight, and you've got to have that inspirational, motivational message coming your way. Successful people have dreams, and then they've got to stay motivated. So you got to pump yourself up. And again, this is my world. This is what I do. I'm an inspirational, motivational guy. So obviously, I'm fully dedicated to it. And you'll get that in these podcasts and reading everything that I've written, both in books and stuff that comes out through weekly and through my website. Just be around the motivational content, the inspirational content, because you need it. It will keep you in the right frame of mind, and it'll lead you to a great amount of success. And you can't go very long without having that kind of content in your life. If you do, you'll see the difference that it makes when you don't have it, which leads to another daily habit. Be around optimistic people. You probably heard, you're a combination of the people that you surround yourself with the most, and it's true. It just is true. The people that you are around, whether it's friends, colleagues, everyone you spend time with has a certain impact on you. Bring positive people into your life. They will not only uplift you, but the positive vibe that you get is great in helping you. I really will go to lengths to avoid being around negative people. I just won't do it. I'm just not going to it. On any regular basis, I just refuse to do it, because I know that the negative impact that negative people have, and it's big. So don't be around those people. Just don't be around them. Don't allow yourself to be around negative people. Get around positive people. Get around folks that have the right mentality, the right mindset, the right attitude, It makes a world, and I mean a world of difference. Okay, three more daily habits, and here we go. Have relaxation time. You need it. You need the relaxation time. You need to have that time for yourself. It's very important that you take time for yourself and not get so overburdened and so overworked. So you need to have some time to just kick back and relax, whatever that looks like for you. And that's different for different people. Make some time for yourself and make sure you have some opportunities to just chill and relax so that you don't get too overwhelmed with the challenges and stresses of life. And I would say, then build in some longer breaks as well. But we're talking about daily habits, and you got to have that. You've got to have it, whatever that might look like for you, and it's different for different people, but you need it. All right, here's another one. Just make sure you're developing and maintaining your social relationships. Talk with people, share a laugh, unwind. It's so important to just keep your relationships up. And we watched how this, really got impacted by the pandemic. And people realize, wow, this is really something when you lose these relationships. So they're so valuable and important to you. I had a conversation with someone yesterday for almost an hour that I haven't talked to in a while. And I it's like, wow, this is just, it's just good. It's just good to talk to folks, and it's good to develop relationships. It's always good to develop new friendships. And I'm about to start something new this year, and I'm going to be, just by the nature of it, I'm going to be having the opportunity to make some new friendships and develop some new relationships, and I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think it's going to be great for me, and I'm so glad that this opportunity is coming. In fact, I'm so excited about this year because there's just a couple of things, and this is one of them that I think are really going to be great. So don't let your relationship suffer and friendship suffer. Make sure you're reaching out to people, even if it's simple as a text, having phone calls, going out to eat together, doing things together. And then here's the final habit: get good sleep. It's a classic daily habit of people who have a successful year. They go to sleep the same time every night. They sleep well. That sleep just refreshes them. It takes care of their body and their mind. And I'm just an enormous believer in it. And I'm someone who I go to bed the same time every night. I'm generally, most nights I would say I would fall asleep within like less than a minute. There's some times, that might not be the case, but it's fairly rare. I would say most of the time, that's what happens. You work a full day and you do all these other things that I've talked about, practice these habits, you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to be ready for sleep, for bed. Now, just having traveled across the country, it's amazing, the 3-hour time zone, how that'll mess things up. And, so it's like, it takes like a week or two to kind of adjust back to it. But short of the travel stuff, just make sure you get that sleep that you need, because it restores you and it's so good for you in so many ways. Study after study talks about just keeping disease away and, energy and all the rest. So just make sure that you make your sleep a priority as well. So there you go. 15 daily habits that will lead to a successful year, and I would just say will lead to a successful life. I mean, you practice these habits, week in and week out, month in and month out, year in and year out, and you know what? I mean, they're going to work for you in a marvelous, marvelous way. And all this content that I'm pushing out at the beginning of the year is because I really want you to have your best year ever. So take advantage of it. Practice these habits. Pursue your dreams. go for the breakthrough in your life this year and make 2023 your best year yet. Take care.
You've been listening to the Point of Impact podcast with Rick McDaniel. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to you joining us for our next episode.